was hoping from now on that we really can start at 10 o'clock because we don't have that much time. So feel free to get on at 10:02 or 5:02 and get ready. And we'll try to start on time at 10. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time right this minute for 15 of us to introduce ourselves because it'll be 11 o'clock by the time we're finished. But maybe we'll take a break in between and have 3 or 4 people do it. And we'll do that each week for the first couple of weeks, and then we'll all meet each other. And I'll just say, please, each week, if you know you're not going to be able to make it, let me know. It just makes planning a lot easier. And I know I'm not stalling waiting for that last person to come. We have a large class. It's gotten a little bit smaller over the past week, but it's still a big group. As with most intermediate language classes, the levels of individual students vary considerably. So please be patient, please be patient. If you're on either extreme of those levels, please recognize that we're, that's where we are. That's where we're at. And we're doing the best we can. And we'll ask the people who read very, very quickly, maybe to slow down. But of course, your goal is to read fast. So I don't want to necessarily slow people down if their goal is to read quickly. And if you read slowly, we obviously can't insist that you read faster. So we're going to be patient and we're going to recognize the situation. Okay. The class is designed primarily, almost exclusively, to improve Hebrew reading skills, right? Whichever level you're at. So although we all want to understand every word and we want to know what the prayers are and why are we saying that and what does Moedim mean anyway and so forth, please try to keep in mind that the goal of the class is to read the words, not to understand the words. And as a couple of you who were in the class last time know, I do try to tell you when something is very obvious or I happen to know all about it, I'll be happy to tell you, but that's not the goal of the class. And we're not going to take up a lot of time on each and every word and what it means. Let's see. One thing I'm going to try to do to maybe work with the different levels is each time or many times pick a fairly familiar prayer and something a little more challenging that maybe nobody has ever read before. And that really is fine for everyone because the goal is to be able to read anything that's put in front of you, not just the prayers that we say on Shabbat. I'm assuming that that's your goal, is to be able to read Hebrew writ large, not only the things we read on Shabbat. So I hope that's okay with you. What else is here? That's pretty. I just have this one disclaimer. I've already hinted at it. I am fairly knowledgeable. I have a decent Hebrew vocabulary. I've been studying Hebrew for a number of years of conversational modern Hebrew. And I know a lot of Hebrew grammar, but I am not fluent in Hebrew. I have never, I don't have a college degree in Hebrew. I'm certainly not a rabbi. I'm not even a Hebrew teacher, at religious school, although I have taught in religious school, but that was not my profession for 40 years. I just want you to understand that. So if I know something, I'm happy to share it, but I can't answer every question and I don't want you to be given incorrect information. So I'm not going to guess okay, I'm always going to tell you when I know and when I don't know, if that makes any sense. So, and the last thing I want to say is we are not here to sing. That is not our primary goal. You've all been singing these things, I assume, for many years. And I think what you're going to discover by just reading the words that are on the page, that many of us have been actually saying the words incorrectly. Some of the words, incorrectly, and had no idea. but when you slow down and you actually read it and you don't just sing as you learned it, rotely over the years, you might be surprised, or you might not, you might not, but okay. Now I'll ask any questions and then we'll start. Great. Okay, and Esther, we still don't have Esther. Okay, we'll catch her up. And the recordings, the classes are recorded. They are available within a few days of the class. And once I get word that they're up, or the first one's up, I'll send you instructions on where to find it on the Women's League website. They've made it much, much easier. It's wonderful now. It's very easy. Yeah, Judith.
Question. So can you just talk a little bit about the format of the class? Like what kind of preparation we should do prior to the class, and how you're going to proceed.
So like I did for this first one, I will tell you ahead of time which prayers we'll be looking at. And, I'll tell you the pages, I'll tell you the pages in Sim Shalom and Lev Shalom. And I will find like I did this time, in Lev Shalom is very easy. In Sim Shalom too, I could find it on, and send it to you online, but I happen to like Lev Shalom better. And I'll tell you where to find it electronically if you don't happen to have one of these two CDRIM. And you're free to look at it beforehand if you like or not. That I'm not I don't give homework, and I don't have expectations, because I know everyone has many other obligations, responsibilities, activities, but you're certainly free to look at it ahead of time, if that was your question. There's certainly no written homework. And does that answer? Does that help?
It does. But I was curious about the process of the class itself. I mean, are we each going to be reading individually to the group, or?
We're going to find that out right now. Because truthfully, this class is twice as large as my class last time. I've already done this once before with Women's League. This class is twice as large. So it's probably not going to work for 16 of us to stay together. It's not realistic. Everyone will have about 2.5 minutes, right, to read. So for today, I just want to get a sense of who's who and who can read what, and who. But in the future, we're likely to break out into groups. I'm thinking of maybe 3 groups of 5 or 4 groups of 4. We'll see. And so you might find yourselves without adult supervision for a few minutes. But I'm assuming your level is good enough that you can correct each other, or if you have a question, someone could be the note taker to say, we weren't sure how to say this word or something like that. But ideally, we would be together and everyone would read a sentence or two, and we just go around, individually. It's very difficult, as you know, I'm sure, on Zoom to have a group singing at the same time or reading at the same time, because the computers are all a different speed and such. So does that help? I don't know what more than that I can tell you. And okay, so I thought starting with the Mourner's Kaddish is a good place to start. I know that I'm assuming, I have lots of assumptions I have no basis for. I'm guessing that most of you can read the Mourner's Kaddish pretty well. Is that true? I mean, why don't I ask that then? Is there someone who, if someone said, please get up and read the Mourner's Kaddish, you would not want to do that? That would be very scary. And yeah? Okay.
I would find it scary.
That would be scary. So can I put you on the spot and ask you to do it anyway, so we can see?
There is no way I could do the whole thing.
Okay, well, why don't we open to it and you just read the first 3 words, or,
I can do. Okay. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shemay Rabbah.
Okay, good. You want to go on?
Ba'alma, the Right. I maybe not be in the, I really am thinking that I'm in the wrong class. I have to be honest.
But so
Um,
far you did just fine. So,
I'm finding it, I don't know. We'll see.
okay.
I can't. That's as much as I want to do.
Okay,
right
but okay, so let me just say that the mourner's cottage, all the Kaddish are in Aramaic and not even Hebrew. So it's in some ways, maybe it wasn't a great
Mm.
place to start. I just thought that that's the one prayer that everyone is going to want to be able to say
Right.
on for Yisker service on Tuesday. So that was my reason for choosing it.
That's fine.
It's not a litmus test for being able to read Hebrew because it's not even Hebrew, right? So
We'll see.
yeah, so let's just say we'll see. Okay. Would someone else like to continue from Bialma? Yeah, okay, Alice.
Alma di vra kirute v'yamloch
Bialmi.
malchute but hayehon uvyome kon
Chon, right?
uvtaya
Uvchaye. That's not a, yeah.
excuse me, the whole Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv Va'imru Amen.
Good.
Some of that I mean, most of it I am reading, but in the back of my mind, I can sort of hear
Sure.
it, from hearing it in services all the time.
Right. Well, that's going to happen with just about everything. So,
Okay.
yeah, but that was good. Dee, do you want to go on?
Sure. Yehe Shmei Rabba Mivarach Leolam Leome Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudusha Brichu. Le'ela Minkol Brachata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Damiran Rama V'imru Amen.
Okay, good. Someone else want to read, I guess, the last two lines?
I could barely even follow along with her, and I know the prayer.
Well, I tried to
That's where I
anticipate
am.
that for you. I didn't form the classes, and I had no, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
doing the
I'm
best
just
I can.
telling you
with
that's-
what
I'm
was
laying it all on the
presented.
line.
Yeah.
Out there.
Okay. Barbara, are you raising your hand to read?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yehi Shlama Rava Min Shmaya V'chaim Aleinu Al Kol Yisrael
I'll call.
V'al Kol Yisrael V'yamru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mamav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yamru Amen.
Amen. Okay. So another thing I'll say about the mourner's Kaddish in most synagogues, I can't speak for everyone, it's said much more slowly, right? Anyway, because I think there are a few reasons. I think mainly because they want to make sure everyone who's saying Kaddish is able to follow along. But I think it's also to distinguish it from the other versions of the Kaddish. I wanted just to make sure everyone is aware that the Chatzi Kaddish, which is the half Kaddish, right? And the Kaddish Shalem is the full Kaddish, and the mourner's Kaddish. And then of course there's the Kaddish de Rabbanan. So there's four that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't.
What about the one at a funeral?
Is that different from?
Yes.
Yes. Completely different.
is it called Kaddish?
Yes. It's,
Okay.
it's only done at a cemetery.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
but
so
it
then
is
there's
one
the
you
fifth.
rarely hear.
Oh, it's
What
not
did you say? You
right.
can't hear?
You
I mean,
rarely
you
hear it.
rarely hear it.
Right,
It's
right.
very
Okay, so
different.
that's a fifth version. Okay, but so then I'm not talking about that one because I don't, I don't know what the contents are. So I just, my point is, the Kaddish Shalem has all the, that means full, and it has all the verses. The Chatzi Kaddish includes up until a certain part of it, and the Mourner's Kaddish is a little bit longer than the Chatzi Kaddish, but doesn't have everything that's in the full Kaddish. And I don't want to make you go find it all over the Siddur, but I just wanted to make you aware that by and large, it's the same. It's the same words, except for tikabal sloton vuton dechoyes. That is only in the Kaddish. And I don't know if you're aware, the Chatzi Kaddish is said at the beginning of a particular part of the service. So at the beginning of Shacharit, at the beginning of Musaf, and the Kaddish Shalem is said when that section of the service is over. I mean, you probably know this, but there may be 3 people who don't.
I do
So, so that's what, and they all have their own nusach. And so depending on if it's a weekday shacharit service, if it's a weekday, mincha service, if it's Shabbat shacharit, Shabbat musaf, they all have their unique melody and nusach. And so, which is why you might not realize that it's all the same words and all the same prayer, because it sounds so different depending on when it's being said. And so I just wanted to, so like on a Shabbat service during Pesach Zimra, you'll have the Kaddish D'Rabbanan, and then you'll have the Mourner's Kaddish, and then you'll have the Kaddish Chatzi Kaddish before Shacharit starts, and then you'll have Kaddish Shalem when Shacharit's over, and then you'll have Kaddish Shalem again when the Torah service is over, right? And then you'll have the Chatzi Kaddish before Musaf starts, and the Kaddish Shalem when Musaf ends. So I didn't count all that up, but it's probably 8 times that we say Kaddish on a Shabbat morning service. So yeah, Adele, sorry.
Okay, hi. I'm familiar with the Mourner's Kaddish. Unfortunately, I had to say it last year for my dad, but I'm not as familiar. I find the Kaddish Shalem a lot more difficult, and I know it's only like an extra couple of lines. Will we have a chance to practice that?
Sure. And
Okay.
those, my theory is they left those lines out because they are so hard, right?
Okay.
I mean, just that uvu tone alone, it could take 20 minutes to figure out how to say. So sure, if you want to, that's maybe something I didn't say in my introduction, but if there's something specific you want to look at, just let me know. I mean, maybe this is part of the answer to Judith's question is there's no set curriculum for this class. For the beginning and the whatever they call it, the advanced beginning, those 2 classes, they use a set book and there's a set curriculum and everyone learns the same thing. For this intermediate class, they just kind of set me off on my own to make the curriculum. And I did that last time and I think it worked pretty well. And I was going to change up a few things because the holidays are different in the fall than they were in the spring. So I didn't want to be going over some things in the Haggadah when we're in the fall, but but for the most part, I thought we'd supplement the core prayers with some things that are relevant for the fall and winter, Hanukkah holidays. So Susan, I know you've had your hand up, so what are you gonna?
Oh, thank you. I have 2 questions. They're really easy. The first one is, there's words in parentheses, le'ela mikol.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
So as well, obviously you didn't, but between Rosh Hashanah through Yom Kippur, Does it not say that in the book or?
No, no, it doesn't
yeah.
say
Maybe it doesn't. That's
Says
On
interesting.
Shabbat Shuvah.
But, and,
Shabbat.
oh, is this Shabbat Shuv? But that, what I'm about to say applies as well. So it's on Shabbat Shuvah. And they only say Shabbat Shuvah because this is the Shabbat and festival book and it's not the Machzor. So we say that instead of, so they repeat Liela twice and instead of mean call, as you said, it's me call birchata. It's just a different, I can't tell you why.
Well, do we just skip it? Do we just skip it?
When it's not Shabbat Shuvah, you ignore that asterisk,
Yeah.
right?
And Shabbat Shuvah is the Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and
Between
Yom
Rosh
Kippur.
Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which is why my first explanation was between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we change it in that way. So
I have
you might
another-
have noticed,
Can I ask my other question? It's much more interesting.
yeah,
So I don't know if it applies to Kaddish, but it certainly applies to the other mourners Kaddish, but it applies to the others. The Oseh Shalom Bimramav Hu Yaseh Shalom, the line. People take 2 steps back, turn left, turn right,
Yes.
Right.
3, whatever it is.
I
Can
think
you,
it's 3, yeah.
well, I guess my question is, can you explain any of that? Or is that out of the scope of this class?
I don't, no, I can't. I mean, I
just
could
wanted to
guess at it and tell you it's for the same reason that we do that before we start
Well-
the Amidah, but
But let me ask you a different question. Do you do it?
I do it.
Okay, so can you just tell the group from what you do? And not so much why, but what? How, in other words, if we're gonna learn how to read it, we should learn how to,
Right,
do
so,
it.
so like you said, so Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, and then Aleinu V, and I'll call, I don't know why, but I go up on my toes. I'll call Yisrael.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm happy to find out, but I don't want to, you know what I mean? I didn't study that and I don't do that for it. I do that because I've seen other people do it and I've made up my own way of doing it. I don't want you to all say, oh, but Barbara said, because it has
No, I
it's based
understand.
on absolutely nothing. And I want you to know that, but I do it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. We're all in this together. We're all in this
We're all in
together.
this together. I'm Melinda.
I think it has something to do with acknowledging that God is all around in different directions, but
Yeah.
Okay. Barbara was asking if we had certain sections where we needed help. I find the Ashrei challenging still. I know it's Aramaic rather than regular Hebrew.
Okay, that's fine. That's on the list of things that I was going to do. So that's great. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there someone else? Is there any particular word in the Mourner's Kaddish someone wants to ask about that you've always found like, or is there anyone who wants to practice the Mourner's Kaddish one more time? Should we move on from the Mourner's Kaddish? Oh, seeing nobody, I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll move on to Hallel, which is we're going to be singing Hallel again at least 3 more times this week, right, on Saturday and on Tuesday and Wednesday. So for anyone who's going to services or watching services and singing along, I think Hallel will be a great one to practice for today.
Barbara, before we go on,
Yeah.
would you mind correcting me if I do the Kaddish, say the Kaddish?
Sure.
And, okay, because somehow I always muff up some words.
Yeah, no, that's why I asked if
Yes,
anyone
you
wanted to
don't.
turn. Yeah, please.
Okay. Yit Kadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divra Hirute V'amlich Malchute B'chayachon Uvyomechon Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala Uvisman Kariv V'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivarach Leolam Umay Omaya.
So it's ul alme, if you want to.
Yes, see, that's what I want you to tell me.
Yeah,
Ul-
that's why I'm saying
Ul
it. 'Cause I-
Alme,
Ul alme. Yeah.
Ul Alme,
Right.
Al Maya,
Yep.
Yit Barach, V'yishtabach, V'yit Ba'ar, V'yit Ramam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Halel.
There's
V'yit-
no L at
Oh,
the
yes.
end.
See,
Right.
and I made that mistake again. I did it last class. V'yit Ale, right?
Yes.
Okay. V'yit Halel, Shemay Dekudasha, Berichu,
Mhm.
Le'ela Min Kol Birchata, Vishirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Da'amiran, Be'alma, V'imru, Amen.
Amen.
Yehi, Shloma,
Shla-
Rabba,
Shlama.
Shlama,
It's, well, oh, wait a minute. Is that,
say it,
wait, let
please.
me look at the, is that a smaller? No, I think it's Shlama. I've never heard I think it's Shlama.
Shlama, okay. Yehi, Shlama, Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Ose Shalom Bimramav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen.
Amen. So I just wanted to, in those three words, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Ale, V'yit Halal, I will tell you that I have asked several rabbis about this over the years, because almost everyone I know says V'yit Hadar, V'yit Hale, V'yit Halal, even though there is no hay there. It's Ale, right? And I, always said it without the hay because it's not there. But I noticed, and if you listen, you will hear that almost everyone, I mean, rabbis, canners, invariably, almost everyone says Hale. And their explanation, they don't have, I've never heard a good explanation. They just say, well, that's how everyone has always said it. But I'm a kind of a perfectionist and I pay attention to the tiniest details. And so for me, there's no hay there. So I say Ale. So I'm just telling you that because if you listen carefully, that's what you'll find. And I don't know what, again.
Thank you for listening to me because this is why I'm taking the class again.
Yeah, good. No, you're welcome to be here.
Barbara, I have one
And,
quick question before we move on.
yes.
So after the Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, in parentheses, there's the V'al Kol Yoshvei Tebel.
Oh, in the Lev Shalom. Okay,
Yeah.
that is an addition that was made in Lev Shalom. To the best of my knowledge, and again, I am not an expert. I think Lev Shalom is the first Siddur to put that in there to make it more inclusive and more. I don't know what word to put on it, but other than inclusive. So anyone who doesn't have Lev Shalom will probably not have seen that. And I've noticed that even in some synagogues where they started using Lev Shalom, which only came out a few years ago, they don't all even say that because it's so brand new, to the liturgy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. The pronunciation of the letter Bari, is that like in the second line in the mourner's Kaddish, Bari Hu Ela, is that a silent sound or what sound does that make?
I'm looking for Bari. Stop me when I get there, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, well,
Where is Barich? Oh, Barich.
yeah,
Barich.
oh, yeah, that's it.
Barich who?
So it's a ch,
Yeah.
barich.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Barich hu.
And
Barich
the
hu.
other thing we didn't talk about, when you say Mourner's Kaddish, are you aware that the I guess the people who aren't saying the Kaddish will chime in occasionally? And
Yeah,
Barich hu is one of those things that everyone says together. So do you want to go through it one more time, and I'll point out where we're supposed to be responding to the mourners, just for situational awareness for those who don't already know that? Okay. So let me just read it, and I'll automatically say, okay. So Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. And a lot of people will say Amen, but not everyone says Amen. I've noticed, again, it's some people do, some people don't. V'Alma Divra Kirute V'Yamlich Malchute V'Chayechon Uvyomechon Uvchaye Dechol. It's a chol, not al, not dechal, dechol, right? Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. And then everyone says together, Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mivarach V'Olam Ulalmei Almaya. Yit Barach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitramam V'Yitnaseh V'Yithadar V'Yitaleh V'Yithalal Shemei Dekudasha Barich Hu. V'Ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. So one more thing that I'll point out, and this is really detailed, and don't worry about it if you don't know what I mean. In the line, Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya, do you see under Shlama, under the Mem, and under the Beit, the Rabbah, and under Shemaya, under the Yud, there's a little
Yeah.
line going down?
Yeah,
That is telling you that is what you accent in the word.
Oh,
And again, this is something that is not universally known or followed, or people, you know, I know a lot of details like that because I read Torah all the time, and it's very important. It helps tremendously to pay attention to those details to learn how to say things properly. So Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, like most people say Shemaya. If you think about it, but it's supposed to be Shemaya, but through the centuries, through the whatever was longer than a century, through the millennium, people say, Shmaya. It's just the smallest of details for people who care about things like that. And since that's how you're going to hear it most of the time, I wanted you to know why I'm saying Shmaya, but you might hear Shmaya a lot of the time. Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to, like Adele, say it one more time? Okay. So let's turn to Hallel, which is on, in Sim Shalom, it was on 133, and in Lev Shalom, it was on
16.
316. Yeah. Okay. So just, if you don't mind just raising your hand, tell me how many people are sing Hallel all the time and they think it's something they know and they don't even need to practice yours.
Oh, no.
So it's not that you don't want to practice it, it's just that you know it pretty well. But anyone who didn't raise their hand, does that mean you don't know Hallel?
I don't know Hallel.
Little bit.
I don't know it.
Okay, so we have a fair number of people who this is going to be new for. I'm just trying to know
New.
who you are and what I'm doing. Yeah,
I've
okay.
read it before, but I haven't read it many times fluently.
Okay, so let me see.
I have to confess something. Can I confess? I have the world's cutest little Sim Shalom.
So do I.
Okay.
The
It fits in
pages
my-
are different.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just trying to
Did
show
you
you.
did you find Hallel in there?
No.
Okay,
Not yet.
if you look at,
The
do you
index.
know your way through Shacharit? It comes in between Shacharit and the Torah service. So
Okay.
find
Before
where,
the-
like
yeah.
find Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom, find
Yeah.
Sim.
On 378.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It looks
Thank
so
you.
short.
That
though.
work?
Yay.
Okay, so does everyone have Hallel in front of them?
I think so.
Okay. So I'm
That was
trying to
really
see who
helpful.
hasn't
Thank you.
had a turn yet on my sheet. Eleanor, as far as I can tell, you might not have read yet, but if you have, then that's okay.
No, I have not. I have
Okay,
not.
do you want to read the blessing at the very top? The first thing that, so the Chazan says it and then the congregation repeats it before we
Baruch.
start.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotov v'tzivanu lahadli.
No, read the words, read the words.
You can tell some of this is rote. Have to get away from that. Otherwise, I'm going to be lighting the candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu. Now, let me ask you about some of the vowels. Is
Okay.
it kiddushanu or is it sometimes you just pronounce it kidshanu?
Well, it's Keed Shanu. Or
Kidshanu.
Keed Shanu or Keed Shanu. In that case, I'd say Keed. Share Kiddishanu, Kidshan. I mean, that's another one we've all, since we're 7 years old or whatever, and we learned how to
Right.
say the blessing over the candle.
Kiddushanu.
We've been saying it in, old fashioned, Hebrew from the shtetl. But if you read it in the actual Hebrew, it's Kiddshanu. But we all, I mean, I say to Kiddishanu, right. I'm glad you asked that because
Yeah,
right.
good question. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is going to get actually pronouncing the vowels correctly,
Right.
getting away from what you've been taught,
Right. We've been
back
doing
in
for
Hebrew
60
school.
years. Exactly. Right. So
Yeah.
Keed Shanu is yeah.
Kidshanu b'mitzvo tav. Is it tav or b'mitzvo sov?
Tav.
That's what I thought. Vitzivanu likro et halel.
And there's two has, so it's like Hahalel, but
Oh, oops, yeah, halel.
because the first ha is the and the second is Hallel. So the Hallel. Yeah.
Yeah, makes
If
sense.
you notice that.
Yeah.
Did you notice
Okay.
the English has eliminated the word the?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing to know, the big thing to know is what is called here a translation is an interpretation. I mean, it's almost impossible to go back and forth between the two pages and say, oh, that means that and that means that, because sometimes you can, but most often there's not a one-to-one correlation at all. And if you want that kind of a translation, I have it on my shelf, in the art scroll or something that they call it intralinear, where they actually tell you what every single word means. But again, that's not our primary goal, so I'm not using that. But I maybe next time I will, because it does come in handy when someone really wants to know what something means. Okay. So let's see, did Eve, I didn't mark you down as having read, did you, is Eve here?
Oh, I'm muted. Hi.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. So you want me to continue?
yeah, please.
Okay. So hallelujah. Hallelujah. Avde Adonai. Hallelujah. Et Shem Adonai. Yehi Shem Adonai. Mivorach me'ata yad olam. Mimitzrach shemesh. Ad mevo'au mehula. Shem Adonai. Ram al kol goyim Adonai al hashamayim kevodo.
Okay, okay,
Oh.
let's let somebody else go. That was fabulous. So you know, Hallel, and that's great.
I really learning. Thanks.
And so are you, do you not have your face up? Why can't I see?
I don't know. You know what? My camera went on and it went off.
Oh,
There we go.
I was.
Now we go. Hi.
Okay, good.
Now we can see her.
Okay,
I'm turning it
let's
off.
see. Is there someone else? Gloria, I don't know if you read. I didn't put a little check mark next to you either. So if you
Hi,
want
it caught me.
to.
Okay, Mika, who,
No, what is that?
Yeah.
me, Shahu,
No, Kadonai.
where am I?
Me, are you reading me Kadonai Eloheinu?
No,
It's the fifth, 1, 2, 3, the fifth
Yeah.
line.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's not who, it's.
I see it now.
Okay.
Okay. Mika, Adonai, Eloheinu, Hamag, be, he, Lashon, vet. Lashon, vet. We don't, this is where the reader reads this. We don't, as a congregation read it.
That's okay, but as a class, we're reading it. So.
Yes. Hamish Pili
Hamash,
Pili. They're out Bashamayim of Uaretz.
Uva Aretz.
Okay, get new glasses this week.
So do you know Shemayim in the heavens and on the earth, right?
Earth, yeah.
Or Shemayim Uva Aretz, okay.
Lecha Shavi.
No, Mikimi.
Oh, missed that one. This is the part we pick up. Mickey, me, Ma'a, Bar, Dal, May Ash, Pete.
Pote, may I?
Pote. Yes, I knew that. Yarim, Avion. Lecho Shivi, Im, Nadivim, Nad.
Well, I don't want to stop at every, vowel, but
Nad. Nadive.
Nidivim.
Well.
No, she's on the next one.
I'm sorry, Nidive. Okay.
Amo.
Nidive amo. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay.
Mishivi.
Mo Shivi.
Amo Shivi. Akaret. Avi Yeet.
Habayit.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Now I see the Habayit, Aim.
Aim.
Habanim, Sameach.
What is the last? Smecha. It's not, if it didn't have the hey at the end, right, then it would be sameach. But since it has the hey, it's smecha. It's the hard, I mean, is there anything harder than this language? I can't even imagine. Okay. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Okay, let's see. So Judith, I don't have a little check mark for you either. I don't know if you've read before, but if you want to go ahead with B'Tzeit Yisrael.
Okay. I have a little technical difficulty. I think my picture's gone. Okay, I'm sorry. My computer crapped out while we were here. So can you remind me where we are?
Oh, we're up to B'Tzeit Yisrael.
Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, good. B'Tzei Yisrael, Mim Tzrayim,
Mi Mitzrayim, Mi
Mitzrayim, Beit Kor Ve'akov,
Yaakov,
Neyam Lo Save.
Lo A's. Oh, so
Lo
that's an
A's.
ayin, not a tzadi. Ayin and tzadi, you know, are two of those letters that confuse people a lot. Do you see the difference between ayin?
May I?
Yeah, so low A's.
Low A's.
Yeah.
Okay. Hata.
Hayata.
Hayata. Vehuda.
Yeah, okay, Yehuda. So this is the second time you're confusing the Yud and the Vav. The Yud is shorter than the Vav. I'm trying to find a Vav to show you to compare, but that you see that it's only goes halfway down. Oh, so it's Yehuda, yeah.
Yehuda, Lekadsho, Yisrael, Mamitzrayim.
Look at it again.
Mam Shilohav.
Tav.
Hayam Ra'a Vayagos. Go.
That's a nun. Nun and Gimel look alike too. So this is.
Oh, that's a nun. Okay.
That's with cataracts.
Okay.
They gone.
Vayanos.
Vayanos. Hayardain. The Sov.
Yisov. Do you see the difference between the Yud and in the Vayanos, you see how the Vav goes down further than the Yud?
Yes.
So that's a difference. Yeah. So just keep an eye out for.
Sov Le'ohor.
Le'achor. Good.
Yeah.
One more.
Okay. Heharim Rakdu Ve'yelim. Elim, give yom.
Give oat.
Kivne so
So the aleph is just completely silent. You could pretend it's not there and just go Sadik nun. Yeah. So okay. Let's see. Marsha, do you want to read Ma Lecha Haya?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let me get up to my microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to try. I've never read this before. Ma Lecha Hayom Ki Hayam Ki Tas no not
look
no
again,
no
look
no
again.
I know Tanus
good
hi wait a minute hi yard Dane
good
okay Sauve la tor
That's, it's a chet, not a,
Oh,
Yeah.
la, chor,
good.
he, no, yeah, he, harim, tir, kadu, arlim.
A, yeah.
Oh, A, that's right. Alim.
So Elim are rams, and the ch means like or as, so it's like a
Oh.
metaphor comparing like rams, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Gava oat. Oh, I've heard that word before.
Mhm.
Kiba
Yeah.
ne. Isn't that an iron?
No, that's,
It's
yeah,
so,
that's a sadi,
Oh, okay. So,
sewn.
sewn,
Yeah.
sewn.
Kivne.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so let's see, who else? Roxanne,
Okay,
do you want to finish that page? Yeah.
mi lifnei Adon kuli aretz mi lifnei alot ha
Elohim.
Yaakov hahofki hatsur agayim
Agam.
agam mayim halemish lema'ano mayim.
Lamaino Mayim, right? Yeah.
Mayim.
Right.
Lamaino Mayim. Okay.
You want me to keep going?
Let's see. Is there, let's see, Susan, I don't have a mark next to your name. I'm not sure if you read today.
No, I haven't. And
Okay,
I've
what?
never read this before. So this is the real me. This isn't cheating because I know it.
Okay,
So-
so, and besides which, we're up to the small print, which almost nobody knows because the canner reads it so fast. But so what we can skip, we can go to Adonai Zacharanu Yivarech.
Hang on, I have to find it. It seems like my book is a little different. So
Okay.
don't want to read low lanu. I don't know.
I mean, you can, since you just read it so well, you might as well. Go ahead, continue.
No. I just want to make, where would you like me to start? It's
You
okay.
can do the Lolano Adonai. I just thought that was a little harder because nobody would be.
No, this is all hard. This is all.
Okay, then you might as well do the small print. Okay.
Okay. Lo lanu Adonai lo lanu. Ki l'shimcha ten kavod al chasdecha al. Wait a minute. Let me take off my glasses. Al amitecha. I'll take them off permanently. Lama yomru ha goyim aye. Oops. Na Elohechem. The there's no vowel there. So it's silent. Belohenu. Oh, Belohenu. Got it. Belohenu. Bashamayim. Kol. Asher. Chafetz. Asa.
Okay, that's excellent. Especially if you've never seen it before. So according to my little cheat sheet here, I didn't put a check next to Melinda or Phyllis. So if either of you have not read today, please, if you want to read a few lines. We're up to Atza Behem.
Atza Behem. Keser. The Yahav.
Wait, what is the second letter?
The Zahav.
Right. You know Kesef is Zahav, right?
Zahav is gold.
Silver and gold. Yeah.
Maaseh Yadei Adam. Have.
Look at it again.
Excuse me?
Look at that first word, letter again.
Ha?
Are you saying ha?
Ha,
Oh,
puh, like
yeah, I thought you were
Peter.
saying ha. Okay, pet,
No,
good,
Peter. Ha.
good.
Lahem.
Welcome to the webinar. You
Lahem.
have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
What is that?
Today
on the DMOS website.
What's going on? Is somebody have a webinar on? Oh.
I think Livingston was doing something. Livingston, New Jersey. Okay. Pelahem. Oh, Vilo. Yada. Beru. A Naim. Lahem. Vilo. Yeru.
Okay, I'm going to ask, since it's already after 11, but Melinda, would you want to read another 2 lines, just so everyone had at least one turn, that's all, okay.
Do I want to, or does someone else want to?
No, I didn't think you read yet.
I
Maybe-
just read.
Oh, okay, Phyllis.
haven't read.
I couldn't tell
Okay.
if it was Phyllis or Melinda who was talking, okay. That's why I was looking at Phyllis and saying, you're saying hair or pad, I'm looking straight at Phyllis and you were reading, okay, no wonder. I couldn't hear it right, okay, go ahead.
Aznayim lahem below yishma'u af lahem below yirchun.
Yirichun.
Yirchun. Yedehem below Yimishun, Raglehem below Yahalehu, Lo Yegu Bigronam. Kemohem Yiyu Osehem Kol Asher Botecha Bahem.
Boteach, right.
Boteach Bahem. Israel Batach Badonoi Ezram Umaginam Hu. Base Aharon.
Beit Aharon, but I yeah.
Beit Aharon Bithu Badonoi Ezram Umaginam Hu. Yirei Adonai Bithu Badonoi Ezram Umaginam
Hu.
Hu.
Okay, great. Okay, so
Excuse me, Barbara, I have a quick question.
yeah.
So the word base, the second to last one there, where it starts base.
Beit, yeah.
When I was in Hebrew school back in the Stone Age,
Right.
that second letter, if it had a little dot in the center, it was a hard sound, like bait, but
Right.
without the dot, it was softer bass.
Yeah, I think that was changed by the time I was in Hebrew school. So I think I started Hebrew school in like 1964, if I did the math, and it was already bait. You know, like I remember when I used to practice with my grandfather, he'd be hysterical laughing because he couldn't understand why you're saying bait when it's base. So I don't know where or when you went to Hebrew school, but it's become bait.
Okay.
Whether it has a dot, it doesn't have a dot. But
I guess
but
I
you
didn't
will
get
find-
I guess I didn't get the memo.
And conservative, Orthodox still says base.
Yes, but we're not Orthodox. Right. Absolutely.
Nope.
No question about that. And they'll say Yisroel, and it's Yisrael. I know somebody this morning said Yisroel, but that's another holdover from, I don't know if it's Ashkenazi pronunciation or, but I've never really understood, since most of us are Ashkenazi, why did we switch to Sephardic pronunciation?
Modern Israelis
out there.
Modern Israelis
Right.
pronounce it the new way.
Yes.
That's why.
Right, but most Israelis originally were Ashkenazi.
They were.
So it doesn't fit together.
It doesn't.
But that's how it is. Someone's
When my-
raised their hand. Yeah.
When my daughter was in the 3rd grade, and she would come home and she'd start reading to me, and I'd say, no, 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 it's this, it's not that. And I wrote to her teacher, and her teacher said, you're both correct, but she's learning the Sephardic pronunciation, and you were taught the Ashkenazic. So I went and I took a class to extinguish the Ashkenazic, because I didn't want to sound like I was 80 years old. Most of the people in our congregation were always at the Ashkenazic, you know, the Adonai.
Right.
So,
Right. Oh, that's the other classic one, is the, I don't know, you can always tell either a person's age or if they grew up Orthodox or something when they say Adonai, right? I don't know.
right. So I took a class and I extinguished it, and now
Okay, so it's Yisroel, Adonai, and base are the three giveaways, the three immediate giveaways. Okay. So I guess the question is, should we continue with Hallel next time? Do you like,
Yeah.
you want to learn
Mhm.
Hallel?
yeah.
Yep.
So that's what we'll do, and I'll add something to it as well. I thought for me it would be fun to just do, since we're going to be starting Bereshit, I thought maybe we would just do a little tiny bit of the Torah reading about when God created, separated the water and from the sky, whatever it is. Just a little tiny bit of that, because it's kind of vocabulary that you'll probably say, oh, I know that. Anyway, we won't spend a lot of.
If it's from Torah, could you have it online?
I will definitely send it. I'm probably not going to use screen sharing because I like to be able to see everyone, but I will definitely send it so that you have it in front, that you can see it and you'll know what we're reading. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll just have to decide if we want to stay together in a big group or do breakouts. Would you have felt comfortable in a group, correcting each other today, or do you like being all together but getting less chances to read? We need to figure that out. What was the
Being in a
Yes,
large.
to correct, and I think that small groups would be helpful.
Does most people agree with that?
No,
I
No.
think
but I'll go with the.
Maybe I'll send an email and you could tell me. It's probably not going to help because it's going to be half and half. So it's, but I don't want to dictate because it's your class, it's kind of your class and you need to get as much out of it, but maybe we'll just do a combination. Roxanne, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just had a thought, maybe the more advanced readers could break out into a smaller group and correct each other. And for us who are not as far along, we could stay in a bigger group.
That's a possibility, but you'd have to decide which group you're in. You'd have to tell me honestly which group you felt you belonged in, so.
Yeah.
Barbara,
yeah.
I was going to suggest something similar, that if we did break down into smaller groups, that there needed to be at least one person who was
absolutely
able to correct the rest of us.
Right. I know I've already factored that in without any question. So again, I really need you to honestly tell me which, now that you've seen the group, right? You have a sense of the class. You feel you're in, we'll just divide it into two parts. Do you think you're in the top of the, or the second? I don't want to say bottom, the
Bottom of the barrel.
First part of the second part, and that will help a lot. So.
Can I be with Alice? She was in my last class.
But I'm in the bottom of the barrel, so I don't know where you want to go.
All right.
What do we say? More fluid versus maybe the more rusty.
Like that.
All right. Okay. I will send an email with maybe just outlining these questions. There were two people not here today in any case, so we'd need to factor in what they think as well and what levels they're at. But and again, if there's a particular prayer you want to look at, it doesn't have to be from the Shabbat service. It can be it can be anything. I can find anything, I can read anything, and I'm happy to do anything. So let me know.